Welcome back to Cryptos R Us. I'm George. We're all George. So today I got something staggering to show you guys. And it basically represents the dollar and the dollar dying. That's why we need Bitcoin in our lives. So let me show you what I got to show you. And also, there's some news about the SEC again versus Binance. So let's talk about that as well. And let's get started. Welcome. This morning, we were above 27.2, 27.3. Came back down a little bit, but overall, we're still clinging on some green, a little bit of green, and that's quite okay. Wow, Ton Coin is in the top 10 now, still going crazily. But today, Solana also had a pretty good day. You have XRP above 50 cents once again, Cardano up a little bit, and Bitcoin still up a little bit. But I do think this SEC versus Binance court case dampened the mood a little bit. Okay, and what's that about? Well, we know that right now the SEC is suing a whole bunch of people. Binance.us and Binance itself, I don't know, they're two kind of separate entities, but SEC's arguing they're one. Basically, there is a new hearing, okay, and not just about the original lawsuit. This is about how SEC feels like Binance.us is purposely dragging its feet, and they're trying to compel the courts to compel Binance.us to in giving, I guess, documents or requested documents faster, because they believe that Binance.us is just dragging their feet and purposely not complying. Now, Binance, on the other hand, is saying, well, that's not true at all. It's just because the SEC is being unreasonable and asking for way too much. Okay? So that's what it comes down to. He said versus she said. In this case, he said versus he said. And the judge is going to basically look at the facts and determine who's right, who's wrong. But basically, this judge is telling both Binance and the SEC to simmer down. She will get to the bottom of she or he. I don't know the judge. But basically, that's what's happening right now. Both sides are pointing fingers at each other, right? I would not be surprised if the truth is somewhere in the middle, or maybe just because Gary is just asking too much. This is Gary's playbook, is basically ask for so much, you bankrupt the other side. That's what Gary has done, SEC has done a lot with a lot of projects, right? But will that work for Binance? I don't know. But one thing is for certain, Binance.us is not looking so good. We have heard of a lot of leadership leave, but also look at their trading volume is down 99% over the last 6 months, mostly because a lot of their banking partners have left. People don't like the fact that you can't cash out with Binance.us. They're a crypto-only exchange, and also because the SEC suit, people are worried about that as well. So they have tanked in volume right now, but we'll see. We'll see if they can pull through. It's looking like it may be difficult for them to pull through, which is unfortunate because Binance.us, when it first came out, it was very, I hate to say it was basically like garbage. There was just nothing on there, but over time, it grew into a powerhouse, and there's a lot of coins that you can trade, right? But unfortunately, people have left because of the SEC and everything else, so we'll see if they can pull through. So that's what I want to lead with. That, unfortunately, I think dampened the mood a little bit today because people, again, are afraid, right? But the thing is, people should not be afraid. This is not the time to be fearful. In fact, this is a time to be greedy for Bitcoin. Michael Saylor is very proud to retweet how 3 years ago, he purchased Bitcoin, right, around $11,000. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I forgot how much you purchase, but he purchased a lot of Bitcoins, right? And that was kind of like the first time when we've heard of, I don't know, some CEO of some company basically just buy hundreds of millions of Bitcoin. Kind of first time in its history, right? So he kind of started something. And I showed this yesterday, I'm going to show it again. But basically, he's been right. Bitcoin has been moving 145% annualized, basically year after year after year. You're picking a winning asset by sticking with Bitcoin, right? Even though some people argue, well, Michael Saylor is still down on his investment, but versus anything else that he could have purchased, like gold or even Apple or Microsoft or bonds, anything versus anything else, he would have been down substantially more. So Bitcoin strategy actually is the right one, no matter what. Okay. And there is also something else that's really staggering, really staggering that I got to show you. I mean, I just saw this. I talk a lot about macro stuff, right? Macro stuff is important because it's important to understand what Bitcoin is about, right? And the reason why Bitcoin was created was due to the 2008 financial disaster and made people realize that you can't trust the banks or the governments, okay? So that is what spurred, out of thin air, basically, Bitcoin, right? You have these people, Satoshi, whoever he or they may have been, right? They're like, enough is enough. We're going to program Bitcoin, right? So this is staggering. I didn't even know this. But in the U.S., not too long ago, we had this debt ceiling crisis. Basically, we reached a point where we couldn't operate anymore. The U.S. government and bond payments and interest payments and Medicare and Social Security, everything that the government was supposed to pay, they couldn't because we reached this debt ceiling. So that means there's no more debt. Can't print any more money. Can't borrow any more money. That was a major thing. But of course, Congress, they voted last minute and basically removed the debt ceiling. And basically, there's no debt ceiling until January 2025 because they say, we'll worry about it later, okay? And it has been extremely dangerous since then. I didn't know this, but since that period, and that was, I don't know, several months ago. It wasn't that long ago. It was sometime this year. But since then, the U.S. have been accumulating $1 trillion of debt per month. It used to be like a couple trillion per year, and that was outrageous. Now the U.S. is on pace $1 trillion of debt per month. That's like 12 trillion per year. Where's this money coming from? Well, the money printer, right? Where else is it coming from? It's the money printer, right? That is staggering. I had no clue it's gone this bad. Interest payment on debt is going to be so astronomically high. It will be higher than any other bill that the U.S. government faces, even more than the annual military budget. Military budget is like $900 billion a year. We are going to have $1 trillion in just interest payments alone on the debt. That is staggering. Staggering. And you can't tell me that this is normal or is it healthy and that this is sustainable. The dollar is being printed at an astronomical rate right now, which is why the dollar is dying right in front of our eyes. That's why we need something better. That's why we need Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin is created. And what's happening right now is so much worse than 2008. Way worse than 2008. Okay? Wow. It's just crazy. I still remember 2008. We had the worst bailout ever of $790 billion, going towards the banks. Otherwise, every bank on earth would have been destroyed. Now we are bailing ourselves out in the tune of $1 trillion per month. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. I don't know how else to put it. Anyways, that's why long-term holders of Bitcoin continues to go upwards, and we're back to 76%. Okay, 76%. That is a large amount, and we will keep going and going as more people want to opt out of this, wants to opt in, building wealth, right? That's why people turn to Bitcoin, and more people are doing so because this is just silly. This is just silly at this point. But yeah, outside of that, of course, there are a lot of major interest in Bitcoin, in not just Bitcoin, in crypto overall. Van Eck is very bullish on institutional investments, waiting for spot Bitcoin ETF approval. You know who else is waiting? BlackRock. BlackRock, of course, caused this whole commotion because they want to get involved too. But I bet they've been secretly buying Bitcoin for a long time. But Larry Fink is like so bullish now. Tokens are next generation for markets. Screw Bitcoin. Let's go directly to tokens. I mean, Larry Fink and BlackRock is basically going all in at this point. And let's not forget, BlackRock is already major shareholder in 4 of the 5 Bitcoin miners, largest miners, excuse me. And guess what? They're a major shareholder in MicroStrategy too. Michael Saylor's precious MicroStrategy, yeah. BlackRock is a major shareholder as well. So they've been getting their hands in a lot of things way before they announced they submitted an application for a spot Bitcoin ETF. They are ready. They're ready to move forward in a big way, and so is everyone else. What about another large asset manager, Fidelity? Okay, they're hiring for a token research position, but they are also very invested in Bitcoin miners and also being a custody or being a custodian, I should say, offering custody service. And I'm sure, you know, they're also coming out with the Bitcoin spot ETF. I mean, they're in the same position as BlackRock. Everyone is. Everyone wants to jump in right now, right? And they're playing catch up. Retail investors, long-term holders, the hodlers, they've been in it for way longer, but now these big boys want to catch up. Here's another one. Another bank, Citigroup, will let rich clients use private blockchain to transfer asset. Interesting. Again, tokenization, tokens. Yeah, it's a big deal. Important to note, this is only going to allow rich clients to use it. Okay, and then Australian bank, ANZ, is also doing the same thing, but they're utilizing Chainlink CCIP for cross-chain interoperability, so that's fantastic. A lot of news, a lot of talk about Chainlink recently, right? Because Chainlink, after years upon years upon years, their CCIP network is basically, basically a framework that allows different chains to talk to each other and brings true interoperability for hundreds of dApps, and now it's being looked at by banks as well. So good for Chainlink. They've been moving pretty good recently. But of course, it's not just Chainlink. Ripple is also in there, right? Brad Garlinghouse is saying that, yeah, XRP will be the next Bitcoin. Why? Because the XRP ledger is going to bring upon a lot of interoperability, basically, right? So that's awesome. And then also Avalanche. Avalanche also, you know, they want to do the same thing. In fact, they just launched a 50 million initiative where they're going to buy tokens of assets on the Avalanche network. So they're just going to buy it up, which is quite interesting, right? But Avalanche is also in the mix. They're not the same as Chainlink or Ripple in terms of being like a bridge currency, bringing interoperability, but they're working on it. But this is more like just focusing on tokens, right? So good for them. Good for them. All right. That is pretty much it today. Overall, like I said, it's a still a good green day. Not as green as this morning. Probably because Gary, because he had something to do with it. But overall, right? So much goodness coming. So let's do some Q&A. All right. Let's see if I missed anything here. Troy McDrain says 69 month of buying. Price will climb slowly during, however. Yes. Yes. This is a time to be accumulating. We know so many good things are happening in 2024. So it's really just think of it as a buying opportunity, accumulation period where you could still pick up for cheap before the spot Bitcoin ETFs come, before BlackRock introduces billions upon billions to the space, before the halving event, and of course, the endless printing of money will not stop. Hello from Beirut, 5 a.m. Welcome. Chainlink never moves during bull. No, it does. Everything moves. Everything moves during a bull market. That is for sure. Are you coming to the Proper Party in New York City? What is that, the name, Proper Party, or what? Or is there something else? I didn't hear about it. Do you think one day we'll stop depending on the USD? Yes, but it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. It takes a while to get off to change a new reserve currency, so it's not gonna come anytime soon, but it will happen. Especially, of this. When the debt is so high, it's gonna crush everything, and then then we're going to move on to something better, I guess. How much of an impact will a few $100s in BTC make the next bull run? Brianna, a few $100s could turn into a few $1,000s. I think that realistically, you could see Bitcoin do a 5 to 10x in the next bull run. So a few hundred becoming a few thousand. Where do you believe we are on the S curve for Bitcoin? I personally still think early adoption, which means we have yet to end the exponential gain phase. I agree with that. On the S, so I would say we're still toward the bottom, starting to go upwards, but definitely not on the parabolic uptrend yet, right? We're still kind of low. 20x on Solana soon, according to Reeby. You know, can Solana realistically do a 20x in the next bull run? I think it can. Okay. Where was Solana before? You know, it was like 260. 260. So it has to go to 10x. You know, more than 10x to get the all-time high. And can it go past that 15x, 20x? I mean, it could. It could. Maybe like a 15x. I don't know about 20x, but it's somewhere between 15 and 20. I think that could happen. Any thoughts on VeChain? Still a fan of VeChain. They just need more dApps. I think they need more DeFi dApps specifically. They just need more of it. Here forever Singapore. It's obvious you only asked about Kadena. You're trying to hide the fact you don't only ask about Kadena. I'm off the Kadena bandwagon. Hate to say it. Maybe I'll learn a thing or two. Maybe I'll meet the team finally at Cypherpunk. But I'm off the Kadena bandwagon. What is causing Ton to go up to top 10? I honestly can't tell you. There's something, I told you guys the other day, I think there's something fishy with going on with Toncoin. It is moving at a I don't know. It has decoupled from everything else. It has moved at an astronomical rate, and it doesn't make any sense. So I said I'm staying away from it because I don't trust it. Anything that moves up this much, this fast, generally speaking, it will find the top and start coming down. This is just so unnatural. Now, Telegram did say that they're offering wallets now, and it's from Toncoin, but there's some close relationship already. So I can't say I trust it. Did KuCoin pull a fast one in the US? So pull everything off. Went back to test it. My account is still fully functional. I don't know if that's true, man. Barry, if you're in the US, you could enter. You could still log in, but you can't do any trades. You can't do withdrawals. Basically, withdrawals are very limited. I think you could still do one BTC withdrawals, but I don't think that's true unless they somehow missed your account. I have no thoughts on HBAR. Always been neutral. Mahdi asked, Kadena, Helium, will they recover? I don't know. I've gotten off both bandwagons because over the years, they have done some stuff that I do not like. I hope they can, but I'm not sure they can. Very good for you then. I don't know what you want me to say about that. If you want to continue to use it, okay, be careful because they may just lock you out once they find out that they forgot to lock you out. Yeah, Jeff Wharton, it's they were definitely much stronger before, but then again, you know, everything was stronger in 2021, but in regards to Kadena, a lot of fighting, a lot of controversy, a lot of fighting, and the fighting continues. And me personally, when I try to get a hold of the team, they didn't want to talk. There's just a lot of things that's going on. But maybe they'll be at Cyberpunk. Maybe they will say something, announce something or something. But they're just too much. Never buy a crypto named after the moon or gas. I guess. What's named after a gas? Oh, like helium? I guess. Helium was fine. Helium was fine until they decided to force everyone to make the move to Solana, which no one wanted. And then plus there was a lot of problems with their miners. People that bought miners couldn't get support for them. And overall, and there was something else too, I forgot. There's something else controversial with Helium as well. But I think that the biggest thing was a lot of the VCs in Helium were like big Solana people. So they kind of forced the move. And then, yeah, that kind of ruined it. But who knows? They're still operating. Maybe they could come back. Chainlink is having a good day today. Cosmos having a good day today too. Up 16% this week. That's good. Really good. Cosmos, I still think it's undervalued. VeChain still up 19% this week. I think mostly from the Coinbase edition, so that's good. Thorchain up about 28%. Not sure why. Let's see. Anything else? Big movers. No, that's about it. Can you go to Tangem? Why? Isn't it just a wallet maker? Oh, they don't have a token? I thought I had a token. Do I like DYDX? I never use them, so I don't know. All the projects on Cosmos are pumping. Good for Cosmos, then. Cosmos, still one of my favorite projects, but their token economics needs some work. All right. To conclude, overall, it's still a pretty good day, even though this dampened the mood a little bit, but overall today is a good day. And you know what? When you have the U.S. government printing $1 trillion per month, that tells you something. It tells you not to trust them. It tells you to trust Bitcoin. All right, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow, bright and early, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're getting closer and closer to the FOMC meeting, which is coming up on Wednesday. Let's see how tomorrow is. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care.